I'm Casey Hatfield with NetGreen News. The building you see behind me was one of the most celebrated in Salem until it was declared structurally unsound. A new study suggests bacteria are rapidly breaking down oil in the Gulf of Mexico. Our food system is reportedly responsible for a third of global greenhouse gas emissions. There are beers here made using organic ingredients and some made using sustainable practices, like this solar-powered beer from the Lucky Labrador. Lawmakers say getting Oregon's economy back on track is a huge priority. The turbines are located directly above this penthouse apartment, so architects say it was extremely important that noise and vibration be kept to a minimum. This is Chumbe Island, a small island off the coast of Zanzibar. Baby chicks like this can cost anywhere from $3 to $7 and can be bought at your local farm store. Dairy farmers in Sweden are going the extra mile to make sure their cows are happy and healthy. Mount Hood Meadows was the first ski resort in North America to offer the Ski Green program to its guests. Tonight, as the Portland Trail Blazers battle for playoff position, they're also becoming the first pro team ever to play at home in a LEED Gold facility. The Trailblazers may be wearing red, white, and black, but the true color of this game is green. The Green Game is an annual event where the Blazers promote greater environmental awareness.
Portland has always been viewed and continues to be viewed as the greenest city in America, and for us to be able to do something that supports that concept, I think is great.
Before the game, the Trailblazers' home, the Rose Garden, was awarded LEED Gold status in a special ceremony.
I think it's going to continue to inspire our team and our organization to even push harder. U.S. Green Building Council Vice President Scott Horst calls the achievement a major milestone in the greening of sports.
I think what it'll do is help other sports arenas see that they can make a big impact because they have a connection to an audience that's very difficult to get in other ways.
For a building this size, achieving LEED Gold is no small feat. The Rose Garden had to undergo a number of efficiency improvements. It received high points for its meticulous recycling program and ease of alternative transportation for fans.
They live in a city where it's possible for 30% of the people that come here to either ride their bike or get on the max. It's a really unique thing.
The Portland Green Game is also a part of NBA Green Week, a league-wide initiative to raise awareness and generate funding for the environment.
It's not just important to be the most green league, so to speak, but I think our goal is to be the most green business.
Blazer Jared Bayless says the NBA push is inspiring him to lead a greener life off the court.
I try to do my part every day, and the whole organization, the whole NBA is trying to do their part. So we're trying to try to take care of this world and make it a better place as much as we can.
The Trailblazers say they don't want to stop at LEED Gold. Their ultimate goal is LEED Platinum. Horst says if other teams do the same, the positive impacts could be huge.
If sustainability can't be fun, it's not going to work, right? And this is one of the coolest connections to fun and sustainability that you're going to find.
Here at the Rose Garden, they've replaced all their trash cans with recycling compost units like this. The Trailblazers already divert about 60% of their waste annually from local landfills. Reporting for NetGreen News, I'm Casey Hatfield. This is Mount Kilimanjaro. At over 19,000 feet, many call it the roof of Africa. But since 1912, the mountain's glaciers have lost 80% of their ice. Out of the mist, it emerges, a giant of a mountain rising straight out of the otherwise flat plains of northern Tanzania. It's one of Africa's most famous icons and a huge moneymaker for the region. If you want to see it as Hemingway described it, you'd better go soon.
There's actually have been a lot of changes.
Methley Swai was born on the slopes in Machame village and manages a tour company that leads climbs up the mountain. With over 60 climbs under his belt, he's seen environmental impacts firsthand.
I've also noticed quite a bit of reduction on the glacier up above.
Some scientists say at the current rate, the snowcap could disappear entirely as soon as 2022.
I've done some of the research, and all the blame goes on to the wind patterns or the rain patterns and not much on the global warming, but I'm not convinced.
Here is a photo of Kilimanjaro in 1912. Here it is today. Regardless of the cause, one thing is certain. The loss of the snowcap could have devastating impacts on the local economy if tourists decide to take their money elsewhere.
I think it's the number one moneymaker here. It feeds almost over 1 million people around the region, and it feeds a lot more Tanzania-wide.
People like these porters who will wait for days outside a tourism company hoping to gain employment. So worried are some tourism officials, there's even talk of a scheme to drape white sheets on top of the mountain to make it look like there is still snow. Swai thinks this is taking things a bit far, but he admits scientists' predictions are scary.
I couldn't imagine waking up and seeing no snow on Kilimanjaro.
For the average tourist, Swai believes climbing Kilimanjaro is about more than just the glaciers. I can attest to this. I climbed the mountain in November with my fiance and a group of friends.
All right, we just made it to the summit. It took us 5.5 hours. Maximum! I'm a little cold and tired, but the view is well worth it.
It was one of the most challenging, exhilarating, and rewarding things I've ever done. Swai believes tourists will keep coming because climbing Kilimanjaro is still a true adventure.
It's such a rewarding trek.
Reporting for NetGreen News, I'm Casey Hatfield. I'm Casey Hatfield with NetGreen News here at Atkinson Elementary, just one of the schools in the Portland Public School District where children are enjoying more and more locally grown food. Mesclun greens, rutabagas with roasted potatoes. If this doesn't sound like the school lunch you had as a kid, that's because it isn't.
Completely different than they were probably 5 years ago.
Farm to School is a fairly new program in the Portland Public School District. The goal is to try to buy as much food from local farmers as possible.
I think it's our social responsibility, to raise healthy kids. We need to start introducing them to fruits and vegetables.
In addition to trying to source as many local ingredients as possible, a different fruit or vegetable is featured on the menu every month. This month, it's rutabagas.
It's also really fun to see the comments and hear the comments of things that they've never seen before, they've never eaten before.
Reactions can be mixed, but many find after giving the vegetables a try, they're not so bad. What did you like about them?
I like about them their taste. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
When I first tasted them, I thought they were gross, but then I kept on tasting them, and then it felt really great.
I like rutabagas.
A lot of folks refer to the cafeteria in the school environment as the most neglected classroom.
Deborah Kane is Vice President of Food and Farms for EcoTrust, an organization that has helped make Farm to School a reality.
It seems at times that we have a generation of kids who are much more likely to recognize a corporate logo than they are a carrot top growing out of the soil.
Also a parent, making sure parents are backed up, she says, is important. Farm to School doesn't stop in the cafeteria. Many schools in the Portland Public School District now have their own vegetable gardens. One of the program's goals is to integrate healthy eating and nutrition into school curriculum.
It's also about making sure that teachers feel empowered to talk about food and agriculture and nutrition issues, even if they're teaching a math class.
One thing to see it, it's another thing to eat it, experience, to grow it.
It's about thinking outside of the school lunchbox and helping kids develop lifelong healthy eating habits. The message seems to be catching on. Do you think it's important to eat your vegetables?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it makes you healthy.
There is an effort underway to replace styrofoam trays with permanent ones like this. Portland Public Schools hopes to phase it in district-wide starting next year. I'm Casey Hatfield, and here are today's top stories on NetGreen News. California has approved a license for the nation's first large-scale solar thermal power plant in 2 decades. The 250-megawatt Beacon Solar Energy project will be built on the western edge of the Mojave Desert. Developers are racing to license solar power plants and start construction before the end of the year. That's when federal incentives run out. Flame retardants and pesticides have been found in the blood of bald eagle nestlings. Researchers collected blood samples of the birds from the Great Lakes region. The toxins are likely being ingested via their food. Experts say this finding has broader implications about the time it takes for those chemicals to break down. And the city of San Francisco is doing what it can to protect consumers from greenwashing. The city has published what it's calling the SF-approved list. The website lists over 1,000 products that do not emit greenhouse gases. San Francisco has required its municipal departments to buy products that meet strict environmental guidelines since 2005. For NetGreen News, I'm Casey Hatfield.